our Lord 2019 on behalf of the mayor, members of the corporation, and the people of Hamilton, Bermuda. We welcome the Bermuda Union of Teachers to City Hall for the celebration of their 100th anniversary. And now, for the official welcome, let's welcome to the podium the Right Worshipful Charles R. Guzing, Mayor of the City of Hamilton.
Yeah.
Good morning. His Excellency the Governor, Mr. John Rankin, the Honourable Walter Raban, JP MP, Deputy Premier and Minister of Home Affairs, the Honourable Levita Fogo, JP MP, Minister of Labour, Community Affairs and Sport, the Honourable Diallo Rebane, JP MP, Minister of Education, the Honourable Craig Cannonier, Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Julian Monrose, Representative of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, Ms. Hannah Van der Ring, Representative of the National Education Association, Senator Jason Hayward, Representative of the Bermuda Trade Union Congress, Mr. Shannon James, President of the Bermuda Union of Teachers, most importantly, teachers, students, and event organizers, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the steps of City Hall. Now, this is not in my speech, but I come out here from time to time, and I will give this same kind of welcome to maybe 3 or 4 people out there. And you can always tell the well-organized groups by how many participants are out here. And I got to say, you are about the best. Well done. Congratulations. Now, it does give me great pleasure to join you all here today as we recognize and celebrate the centenary of the Bermuda Union of Teachers. Teachers are the greatest asset of any community. They're shaping our young people. They're shaping them to prepare for life. They're the ones assisting parents and communities in developing a sense of responsibility and respect for others, instilling values and virtue, creating a discipline in a child's life and in their studies. They touch lives by opening up doors of opportunity, doors of perception, helping to place the cornerstone of someone's life in the center of their soul. I applaud the B.U.T. for the efforts it puts forth to ensure the rights of teachers across Bermuda, equal pay, better work conditions, and fair treatment. If we want to invest in our children, we have to invest in teachers. You know, I've had about 10 teachers in my life 50, 60 years ago who implanted me a world outside of my boundaries. I will always hold my memories of them dear. Do you remember David Bowie saying we could be heroes just for one day? Well, teachers, you have the ability to be heroes just for someone's life. So, on behalf of the city members and staff, I wholeheartedly congratulate the B.U.T. for this momentous milestone, and may your great work continue. Welcome to City Hall. Welcome to Hamilton, Bermuda at its best. Thank you.
Proclamation ceremony of the 100th anniversary of Bermuda's first registered trade union in Bermuda, the Bermuda Union of Teachers. We salute the founders, Reverend Rufus Stubble, Adele Tucker, and Edith and Matilda Crawford, for their ignited vision we salute the leaders, presidents, organizers, and general secretaries who have carried the blazing flame. Most importantly, we salute the thousands of members over the years who have served and continue to serve in the most noble profession of educating students in the Bermuda public school system. You have advocated for and lived up to the union's motto of education for responsibility over the 100 years of existence. Long live the union and long live the profession of education. And may God save our glorious queen.
Come on, you can do better than that. Come on, you can do better. I'm his teacher. Come on, Daquan Trot. Right about now, we're going to ask the pastor of the St. Paul's AME Church, Reverend Tweed, to come up and give us a prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious and merciful God, author and finisher of all that we have been, all that we are, and all that we will become. As we pause to celebrate this centennial, we give you thanks. We give you thanks, O God, for the vision and the sacrifice of those who stood in a place of death and gave birth to life. Rufus Stovall, Adele Tucker, Edith and Matilda Crawford. We thank you, O God, for their sacrifice, their vision. We thank you, O God, for this institution that has provided a vehicle that has continued to champion the cause of molding and shaping the lives of our young people. We thank you, O God, for all that this union has produced. We thank you, O God, for the countless hours that teachers spend preparing to teach students. We thank you, O God, for the many, many days that teachers stooped with worn out and broken tools and created human masterpieces. We thank you, O God, for the many laborious nights that teachers have toiled to help prepare themselves to shape the imagination and the minds and lives of those who have been entrusted to them. We thank you, O God, because we are the recipients of this tremendous legacy, and we bear the fruits of their labor. In all areas of our community, we bear the fruits. We bear the fruits of those who have taught people how to lay brick, masons and carpenters and electricians and mathematicians and scientists and musicians. And so, oh God, as we pause in this centennial moment, not only do we look back, but we give you thanks for the gift of this present moment. For we come realizing that the work continues on. We thank you for the current leadership of this union that continues to steer this ship, sometimes through tempestuous and turbulent waters, and yet they remain faithful. We thank you for the hundreds and thousands of teachers that continue to champion the cause of education. And so as we continue in this celebration, we pray, oh God, that not only will you bless the past, not only will you bless this moment, but you will empower and equip us to continue to be a blessing as we march forward into the future. These and all other blessings we ask in the matchless name of him who is the Christ. And all of God's people said, amen.
Thank you, Reverend Tweed. I know why I'm touching this underneath it. And now a few words from the president of the B.U.T, Mr. Shannon James.
Good morning, everyone. I ask that we start this occasion with a moment of silence so that we may remember those who have gone on before us. So I ask that we pause for a moment of silence to remember those who have gone on before. Thank you. Sisters and brothers, it's here. It is here. 100 years. It's here. This morning, I woke up and I thank God because He has brought us through 100 years. But I thank God because the same God that planted the seed to our founders, Reverend Rufus Stovall, Sister Adele Tucker, cousins Matilda and Edith Crawford, the same God that planted the seed 100 years ago is the same God that guides us this day. I must thank everyone. All of our former presidents, thank you. All of our members, thank you. Thank you. We take our hats off to you. To the St. Paul AME Church, thank you. Because it was for the efforts, from the efforts of the St. Paul AME Church, that this union became what it was. Thank you, St. Paul AME Church. Thank you. But sisters and brothers, I have to thank you. So many times people say the union, and they talk about the union and it's as if it's some building or some logo or something. But you are the union, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today as we pause, let us not forget. Let us not forget all of those who have gone on before us. Let us not forget those who have helped to keep that flame alive. Let us not forget. Today, executive members, I challenge you. Let's take this day to not forget. Let's take this day to make sure that we are in it for the right reasons, so that we stay true to the cause. Members, let's take this day to reignite the flame if it's going out, to keep that flame going if it's still blazing. Let us not forget. To the government, let us not forget. Today is a day to rededicate ourselves to this profession, the noblest profession, the profession that birthed all other professions. I find it amazing that being the profession that births all other professions, we are also the first trade union on this island, 100 years today. Not only were we the first trade union, but we are the first registered trade union. Sisters and brothers, our forefathers were visionary. I wonder if they even understood what they were doing. But you know what? They were teachers. And teachers do things because it's gotta be done. When those four stood at that graveyard 100 plus years ago and said something has to be done, they weren't thinking 100 years down the road. They just said something has to be done. When you are in your class and your computer is not working, when you go to write on the board and your marker doesn't work, help me somebody. When you say, okay, I don't have lab equipment, but I'll show them a YouTube video, and the YouTube link does not work, you still do what you have to do because you love what you do. And I thank you for that. I thank you. I thank you. So my prayer for today, God, help us to stay true as the needle to the pearl. Help us not to forget those who have gone on before us. Help us to honor them in all that we do, because we believe that education is the building block for any successful society. Sisters and brothers, I know we're at the steps of City Hall, but I have to do this. 100 years. When I say B.U.T, you say strong. B.U.T. B.U.T. When I say B.U.T, you say 100. B.U.T. B.U.T. When I say B.U.T, you say strong. B.U.T. B.U.T. Sisters and brothers, thank you. Solidarity forever. Thank you. Yeah. The appropriate height. Thank you, Brother James. Now we're going to have a little selection from the Centenary Choir under the direction of Anthony Wolf and John Woolridge.
Union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run. There can be no power greater than you. the sun. Yet one force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one. The union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. The union makes us strong. Is there aught the old in common with the greedy parasite who would lash us into serfdom and would crush us with his might? Is there anything left to us but to organize and fight? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. The union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than the hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old. The union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. The union makes us strong.
Centenary Choir! And now, a few words from His Excellency, the Governor of Bermuda, Mr. John Rankin, CMD.
Good morning. Mr. President, Honourable Ministers, Leader of the Opposition, Worshipful Mayor, thank you for inviting me to join in your celebrations, and I'm very pleased to offer congratulations to the B.U.T. on its 100th anniversary. The right to form and join a trade union is a fundamental human right, recognised in the UN International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. International treaties which apply in Bermuda as they apply universally. So the formation of your union 100 years ago was a significant event not only for teachers, but also for trade unionism in Bermuda more widely. And as a trade union member myself for over 30 years, I congratulate you on your work. In particular, as Governor, I recognise the central role you have played in breaking down the obstacles that prevented proper public education for all children, regardless of race. And as a parent myself of 3 children, and indeed as a former teacher, although I was involved in adult education rather than education of children, I recognise the importance of what you do. And as well as congratulating you on your 100th anniversary, I also offer you best wishes for the future, as you continue to learn and adapt in meeting the needs of Bermuda's young people in the world of modern education, because, as I often say, it is young people of Bermuda who are the future of Bermuda, and you play a key part in building that future. I thank you for your dedication. I offer you well for your next 100 years of work. Well done.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Almost like centenarian. And now we welcome to the podium the Minister of Labor, Community Affairs, and Sports, the Honorable Levita Fogo, JP, MP.
First of all, let me say, I am a teacher too. Thank you. It is indeed a pleasure to be here today as the Minister responsible for labor in Bermuda, and also, as I already stated, as an educator. I'm here to join the Bermuda Union of Teachers in celebrating their 100 years of service in Bermuda. I want to thank them all for what they have done in protecting the voices and rights of teachers and strengthening education in Bermuda for exactly 1 century. During the early 1900s, there was a systematic neglect of the educational needs of the black population, along with underappreciation of both the role and struggle of teachers in that early 20th century society. But February 1st, 1919 marked the official beginning of a radical change. The B.U.T. was born. This milestone provided the start of an organized effort for the much-needed institutionalization of education for the black population, which eventually helped break the obstacles that prevented proper public education for all Bermudian children, regardless of race. In 1947, the B.U.T. became the first registered trade union in Bermuda's history, paving the way for all subsequent unions, leading the charge for labor rights in Bermuda. In 1937, the B.U.T. had 42 members. Today, the B.U.T. has a membership of approximately close to 900. The B.U.T. is a thriving organization, well recognized and respected, both here and internationally. I would also like to mention today the Women's Committee of the B.U.T., which was organized under the banner of the Status of Women's Committee of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, whose mandate it is to strengthen and empower women leaders in unions. The B.U.T.'s Women's Committee is an advocate for gender equality, as is this government. Gender equality in the workplace and pay equity across the board is something I'm truly passionate about. Therefore, I am not just only thankful to our first trade union, the B.U.T., I am thankful to the Women's Committee of the B.U.T. for providing many B.U.T. members, both male and female, the opportunity to attend workshops, conferences, and programs, both in Bermuda and overseas, which allow these individuals to grow and develop, both personally and professionally. In closing, I look forward to the B.U.T's weekend of activities that have been planned to mark this special occasion. And in keeping with the sentiments already heard, particularly by Reverend Tweed and Shannon, Lee Iacocca made this quote: He said, in a completely rational society, the best of us would aspire to be teachers, and the rest of us would have to settle for something less. Because passing civilization along from one generation to the next ought to be the highest honor and the highest responsibility anyone could have. And those of us and those of you who are teachers, you know that, you get that. And so teachers, the B.U.T, I salute you.
Thank you, Minister Fogo. And now, the Minister of Education, the Honorable Diallo Rabin, JP, MP.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Town Crier. This is a momentous occasion, the 100th anniversary of the birth of the Bermuda Union of Teachers. I would like to take a personal step away and also wish my daughter a happy birthday, who celebrates her birthday today as well. So this day is special to me for two occasions. But as we reflect on that grateful graveside meeting between Reverend Rufus Stovall, Ms. Adele Tucker, and Ms. Edith Crawford and Matilda Crawford, it can be noted that the idea for an association to champion the need for organized educational offerings was confirmed. While that fateful meeting birthed the notion of the Bermuda Union of Teachers on February 1, 1919, we must pay homage to one of the main goals was to encourage teachers to improve themselves and to establish a standard for education. This would be the main focus of the organization, leading up to the Bermuda Union of Teachers becoming the first registered trade union in Bermuda in 1947. From its origins, the B.U.T has always championed for the advancement of teachers in Bermuda through professional development. I am pleased to be here today on the 100th anniversary of the B.U.T. This anniversary is a testament to the union's steadfast and unwavering desire to ensure that all of Bermuda's students have access to the best education. Teachers, I commend you for your commitment. I commend you for your staunch dedication to our country's future through education of our future generations. I have to acknowledge that the relationship between the B.U.T and the governments, past and present, hasn't been smooth sailing at all times. But differences can be expected when such a high priority topic as education is being discussed. Despite our sometimes different philosophies, the fact undeniably remains that all of us together form an important partnership, a partnership that is needed to move Bermuda forward. Our children deserve nothing but the best, and our 100% commitment to ensuring that they have the tools needed to facilitate their potential and take their rightful place within our society. As the minister responsible, I take this charge very serious, and I always will pledge to listen with an open mind, make suggestions when required, and at all times lead with children's best interests in the forefront of my mind. The African proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child. As such, we all need to work together to educate our children, and I encourage all stakeholders to take the same approach. It is with us we will move education forward. With that said, I offer my congratulations on the occasion of this 100th anniversary and wish you all the best as your organization marches into its second century. Thank you, B.U.T members, for your steadfast commitment to our children's education and, by extension, our country's future. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Rabin. And now a few words. Let's welcome to the podium the opposition leader, Mr. Craig Cannonier, JP, MP.
Good morning. Good morning to our governor, our mayor, deputy premier, our ministers, but most importantly, to you. I've never heard the word solidarity sung so well before in my life ever. I hope you continue to sing that song and that you continue to march on. 100 years ago, the Reverend Rufus Stubble, Miss Adele Tucker, and Edith and Matilda Crawford knew they had to take action. The death of a colleague brought into stark focus the enormous challenges they faced in ensuring our children were given an education they deserved. Determined to get what others took for granted, they created the Bermuda Union of Teachers to not only fight for better education for our youth, but to also highlight the critical role of you, our teachers. I found this quote: "Teachers, I believe, are the most responsible and important members of society because their professional efforts affect the fate of the earth." Not just Bermuda, what you are doing in Bermuda is affecting the earth. I want to say to you, thank you for your time, thank you for your dedication, thank you for your commitment to Bermuda, to making it a better place, to making the earth, the world, a better place. You have a fantastic opportunity as we move forward from this 100th anniversary to continue to do just that. To the Bermuda Union of Teachers, congratulations on this milestone. I dare say this, yes, you need to be commended. I wish all of the city would see this right now, and I hope that those who are up in some of those windows are paying attention to what's going on here. I won't be around for the next 100 years, but I sincerely hope that you are. Congratulations to you. March on in solidarity and make this world a better place.
Thank you, Mr. Cannonier. And now, a representative of the Trade Union Congress of Bermuda, let's welcome Mr. Ed Ball.
With protocol having been established, I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of Brother Jason Hayward, who's president of the Bermuda Trade Union Congress, who could not be here today, to salute Brother Shannon, the past presidents, his present executive, and you, the members. Because when you look at the history of this great union, you have to look at its founders. And you have to also note that there were 3 women that were instrumental in forming that union. But when you also look at the fact that Ms. Butterfield of St. Albans Hall had 100 students and only 2 student monitors. And then we go to Ms. Adele Tucker. She had 400 students and only 3 teachers. And now you understand the importance of what they had to go through at that graveyard in 1990 to understand that their colleagues were dying, had no pay, were only receiving assistance from the churches, the benevolent societies, that education for blacks at that time was vitally important, and we must never, ever forget the sacrifices that they made to make this generation and subsequent generations what we are today. because each and every one of us that represents those ideals, whether it be Berkeley, whether it be Sands, whether it be middle schools, whether it be primary schools, all should be indebted to that vision of having a union to represent teachers so that students, no matter who they were, got an education. Because at times we conveniently forget the struggles of many of those who have been trade unionists and have suffered, especially in those early years. So on behalf of my brothers and sisters, equally of the trade union movement in Bermuda, we must salute the efforts, because from that beginning, we began. And I have my sister, Molly Burgess, here today, Brother Chris is here, and we all take note that we are always behind you, we always will be with you. Solidarity forever, because that's the only way that unions survive. Thank you for 100 years.
Thank you, Brother Ball. And now a representative from the National Education Association, Hannah Vandering.
Good morning. Honorable government officials, President Shannon, Executive Secretary Charles, thank you so much for the invitation. I bring greetings from our President, Lily Eskelsen Garcia, who also serves as Vice President of Education International, and the 3 million members of the National Education Association. Want to extend our great gratitude for the invitation and wish you well as you celebrate 100 years of making a difference in the lives of students of your great nation. Together, we make our students our priority every day. As you look in the eyes of your students every morning, you know that you are the ones who are going to make or break their day. You're the ones who are going to inspire them to learn. You have an opportunity as educators to build them up and help them reach their potential. And thank you for all that you do every day. Your presentation this morning was so moving. Your history is so rich. It can only be surpassed by your future. As I hear your president speak, as I listen to educators along the path of the rally this morning, I hear the commitment that you have to students. NEA shares that commitment. We know that every day there are students around the world who do not have access to quality public education, and they're counting on us to make a difference, to ensure that they have access to that education that is their future. Are you ready to provide that future? Yes. Are you ready to provide that future? Are we as educators, 30 million educators of Education International, are we ready to build that future? I believe we are. Thank you so much for the invitation. And again, on behalf of our President, Lily Eskelsen Garcia, and the 3 million members of the National Education Association, congratulations and enjoy your celebration.
Thank you, Ms. Vandering. Now for a musical interlude, we're going to have another selection from the Centenary Choir. I know. I want to see. I was testing you. The Centenary Choir. See, now we're messing with me with the mic.
You can come down if you want. Oh, the water and stuff.
Somebody's calling my name. Listen and hop. Everybody hop. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, hop. Everybody hop. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. What shall I do? What shall I do? Hop. Everybody hop. Don't you know that somebody's calling my name? Listen and hop. Everybody hop. Don't you know that somebody's calling my name? Oh, hop. Everybody hop. You know that somebody's calling my name. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. What shall I do? What shall I do?
I am so glad somebody's calling my name. I am so glad trouble won't last always. I am so glad somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do?
I'm so glad I got my legend in time. Oh, I'm so glad I got my legend in time. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? I am so glad troubles don't last always. I am so glad the troubles don't last always. I am so glad the troubles don't last always. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Everybody, don't you know that somebody's calling my name? Listen and hop. Everybody, don't you know that somebody's calling my name? Oh, hop. Everybody, don't you know that somebody's calling my name? Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Somebody's calling my name. Listen and hop. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, hop. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do?
Somebody's calling their name. Everybody's, especially the teachers there. Better believe it down there. All the teachers. Because it's our 100th anniversary. Yeah. Go on, give another round of applause. Great song. Everybody's all wrapped up and stuff, but the teachers' union is still feeling hot. And now we're going to have the reading of the proclamation by the Deputy Premier and Minister of Home Affairs. Let's welcome to the podium the Honorable Walter Roban, JP, MP.
Good morning, Bermuda. Good morning, teachers. Happy and honored to be here with you today. On behalf of the Premier, the Honorable David B.U.T, my colleagues in the government, and all of the people of Bermuda, I'm happy to be here today to recognize this historic day, 100 years of unionism, 100 years of the B.U.T. Let me just say a few things before I read the proclamation. Education is liberation, and you teachers have been the path to liberation and freedom for many, for all of our citizens. Freedom to learn, freedom to see opportunity, and freedom to fulfill our dreams. You have been the layers and the architects of that freedom for every citizen. And I thank you for playing that role for all of us. In addition, as I think about the many people in certainly my life and the life of many of the people around me, in that at least 4 or 5 of the leaders of the Progressive Labor Party begun their lives as teachers. So as you can see, teaching has often been the premier profession for many of our best and brightest, but has also been a path to professional success for many. As you have your success, others have come through your profession and seen it as a path to their success in other roads. So you are truly the architects of the path to professionalism, the path to opportunity, and the path to dreams for so many of those of the lives that you have touched, for those who have been a part of your own profession, and for those who will come, our children and others who themselves benefit from learning through what you provide us. So I thank you for that. The government thanks you. The people of Bermuda thank you. We all thank you. Now the proclamation. Bermuda Union of Teachers, 100th anniversary, 1st of February, 2019. Whereas it is chronicled in history that on February 1st, 1919, Reverend Rufus Stovall, Miss Adele Tucker, Miss Edith, and Miss Matilda Crawford stood in solidarity at a graveside. Whereas the deliberations of these founding fathers compelled them to chart a course of unity, strength, and purpose for the benefit of Bermuda's educators and the students they serve. Whereas these visionary educators thereby sparked the flame of trade unionism in Bermuda. Whereas many great educators have served our island and her students with humility, purpose, love, and passion, with an unwavering belief in the possibility of Bermuda and its people. Whereas educators have held true to the pact of the Founding Fathers of 1919 and pressed always for fair treatment, fair compensation, and work conditions that empower them to better serve students. Whereas many great leaders have served the Bermuda Union of Teachers and its cause as members, as presidents, as organizers, and as general secretaries. Whereas the proud educators of Bermuda have stood in solidarity, honoring with duty their motto, education for responsibility, for the full measure of a century. Be it resolved that the government of Bermuda and the people of Bermuda today honor and celebrate the founding fathers of the Bermuda Union of Teachers for their vision, their resolve, and their immeasurable contribution to the development of Bermuda society. Be it resolved that the government of Bermuda and the people of Bermuda today honor and celebrate all the members of the Bermuda Union of Teachers, members past, members present, and those members who will dare serve for their vision, their resolve, and their immeasurable contribution to the development of Bermuda society. Therefore, it is with the distinct pride that I stand here today in solidarity with the men and women of the Bermuda Union of Teachers to celebrate the legacy of a century of service to Bermuda, her educators, Bermuda's children, and indeed, Bermuda's people. On behalf of the government and the people of Bermuda, I proclaim this day, Friday, the first day of February in the year 2019, as the 100th anniversary of the Bermuda Union of Teachers. Solidarity! Let me sign all of these to make them official. Thank you.
Now that it's signed and witnessed by yours truly, it is official. Let's welcome back the Centenary Choir.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. So I fell for nothing, so I fell for everything.